Hi, my name is Jordan Officer, and I'm going to have fun combining a half step below and scale tone above on our C major triad arpeggio. So we've had some fun approaching each note of our C major arpeggio from a half step below and a scale tone above. So now it's time to mix them up. So for starters, we're going to approach from a half step below, then hit our note, and then a scale tone above, then hit our note. Let's see what that gives us. So the first note of the C major triad arpeggio is the C. So chromatic approach below, and then C. Scale tone approach from above, D, then our C. So we got, let's do the same thing for the third. Half step below, then our third, the E. Scale tone above, F, back to the E. So that gives us this. Nice. Next, on the fifth, chromatic below, then our fifth. Scale tone above, the sixth or the A, back to G. So that gives us this. Let's play them one after the other now, the 1, 3, 5. That's a really nice way to embellish our C major triad arpeggio, which is this. Let's play it up 2 octaves. Now let's do the opposite. We'll do a scale tone above, then the note, and then chromatic below, then the note. So for the first one, for the 1, scale tone above is D, then C, half step below, B, and then C. Same thing for the third, same thing for the fifth. Let's put them together. That's really nice too. So now we have 2 very basic, very cool sounding patterns. And then the other one. Now let's do the same thing, but instead of doing the approach, then hitting our note, then another approach, and then hitting our note, we won't hit the note the first time around. We'll circle the note from below and above and then hit the note. So let's start. It's almost the same thing as what we did, but we'll skip the first chord tone that we hit. So for the first note of our triad, or C, we'll do chromatic below, scale tone above, and then hit the C. So B, D, C. Next we'll do the same thing for the third. Chromatic below, scale tone above, and then chord tone. And then the same thing for the 5. Chromatic below, scale tone above, and then our 5. Then the chord tone. So let's play it up 2 octaves. Now let's do the opposite. Scale tone above, chromatic below, and then our chord tone. Let's start with our chord tone, then go below, above, and then hit the chord tone again. So it's really along the same lines. These just give us different types of flourishes around our C major triad. So let's start with our note, then going down above, and then back to our note. So always chromatic below, scale tone above. So we'll start with the C, C, then chromatic below, then scale tone above, then C. Next with the third, next with the fifth, keep going, third, fifth. Now this is something that you might recognize from Mona Lisa, the famous song Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, ba-da-dee-da-da-dee-da, boo-boo-boo-boom. That's scale tone, it's the fifth, chromatic below, scale tone above. And like I said, you're going to hear these in all kinds of songs, in all kinds of jazz solos, classical music, pop music. These kinds of variations around our basic arpeggios has generated so much of the music that we're already very used to listening to. So it's very cool to get them under your fingers. Now let's do the opposite of what we just did. Chord tone, then scale tone above, chromatic below, and then back to our chord tone. So for the C, it's C, scale tone above, D, chromatic below, B, and then back to C. I think I preferred the other one, but this one is cool too. You can hear it in April in Paris. Or maybe that's more like the other one, but anyway, it's scale tone above, chromatic below, and then the third. There's all kinds of variations on this, different combinations of which order you play the actual chord tone and the chromatic approach below and the scale tone above. There's one that I really like to play. It's very satisfying to play, and it uses a hammer-on and pull-off. It's similar to the ones that we just did, but you'll hit the note, the chord tone, then hammer on the scale tone above, then pull off back to our chord tone, and then the chromatic below, and then the note. So that's for the 1, and for the 3 it'll be 3, hammer on to the 4, pull off back to the 3, and then chromatic below and back. And it's cool. The reason it's so satisfying and fun and kind of easy once you get the hang of it is that the hammer on and pull off, and also the chromatic below is just sliding your index finger down and back. So once you get the hang of it, it's a very sort of ergonomic, easy, guitaristic thing that you can do. And it just sounds great in a solo. It's kind of flashy. I like flashy stuff. I like flourishy stuff too. It's like putting a little bit of lace on your solo. It's really cool with this this kind of thing because it's one of the most basic things in melodies that have been written, improvised, and it's really cool to think that the same patterns, the same approaches, you can hear them in Stan Getz, Charlie Parker, or Beethoven, or any pop song or rock and roll. I think that's really cool. It's basic stuff. It's really fun to practice, and it helps you to know your guitar neck, to know where the notes are. Knowing where the notes of a major arpeggio are on the neck is super important. And when you get used to also approaching them from below and above, it just reinforces that much more the knowledge of your scales, your notes, your chord tones. So yeah, I encourage anyone to practice this stuff. It's really fun. My name is Jordan Officer. Over the next weeks and months, I'm going to be getting back to the basics. I'm going to be trying out new ideas for improvising, technique, even checking out some gear. I'll be getting together with some of my favorite guitar players, talking about some of my favorite guitar players. So stay tuned, share, subscribe, send me your feedback, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.